Are you unknowingly sabotaging your finances? Most people dream of financial freedom, but the truth is, 99% of them are making mistakes that keep them trapped in a cycle of financial struggle. Without the right strategy, you might continue to make serious financial errors that prevent your wealth from growing as you desire. In this video, I'll reveal the 7 most dangerous financial mistakes, ones that could hold you back from achieving lasting wealth and stability. More importantly, I'll show you how to avoid them and build a smart financial system that brings you closer to true financial freedom step by step. Ready to take control of your finances? Let's get started. The first and most dangerous mistake: avoiding reality. Have you ever avoided checking your bank account balance because you were afraid to face the truth? Or postponed an important conversation about money with your boss or a loved one, fearing the uncomfortable emotions it might bring? This is a classic example of avoidance coping, a psychological mechanism that makes us unconsciously steer clear of stressful situations, especially those related to finances. Avoidance might relieve short-term stress, but in the long run, it's one of the most damaging financial mistakes, pulling you further away from stability and wealth. Take Mark, a 35-year-old office worker, as an example. Mark wanted a higher salary, but never dared to ask for a raise out of fear of rejection. Instead of addressing the issue, he remained stuck at the same income level for years, accumulating credit card debt. He also avoided budgeting or tracking his spending, believing that the less you know, the less you stress. The result? Mark constantly struggled with money, living paycheck to paycheck without any savings. So how do you break free from the avoidance trap? You need to structure your financial decisions in a way that makes it hard to keep avoiding them. One of the most effective strategies is applying behavioral nudges, a psychological principle that helps people make smarter financial choices without feeling overwhelmed. Here's how. Automate your finances. Set up automatic transfers to savings or investment accounts as soon as you receive your paycheck. This allows you to save effortlessly, without the mental struggle of deciding each month. Use financial reminders. Set phone alerts for upcoming bill payments or low account balances to avoid missed payments and penalties. Follow the 2-minute rule. If a financial task takes less than 2 minutes, such as checking your bank statement or logging your daily expenses, do it immediately instead of procrastinating. Remember, avoiding your financial problems won't make them disappear. It only delays the inevitable, often making things worse. If you truly want to take control of your finances, you need to build habits and systems that encourage action instead of avoidance. Wealth isn't for those who run away. It belongs to those who confront their challenges and take action. The second mistake, and the fastest way to drain your bank account, is the obsession with comparing yourself to others. Imagine this. It's a Saturday night, and you're scrolling through social media. Suddenly, you see a friend showing off their brand new Tesla Model X, a co-worker enjoying a luxurious vacation in the Maldives, and an acquaintance moving into a stunning penthouse in the heart of the city. In that moment, your life starts to feel ordinary. The car you drive seems outdated, your upcoming summer trip doesn't seem as exciting anymore, and your apartment suddenly feels less impressive. A nagging thought creeps into your mind. Am I doing well enough? Welcome to the Keeping Up with the Joneses effect, a classic personal finance trap where people get caught in an endless cycle of comparison, often leading them to overspend just to keep up. In the age of social media, where everyone curates and showcases the best version of their lives, this comparison becomes even more toxic. But here's the catch. You're only seeing the highlight reel, the things they own, not the reality behind them. That friend with the new Tesla? They might be drowning in car payments. The co-worker on a lavish vacation? Their credit card debt could be skyrocketing. The person who just moved into a penthouse? They may have drained their entire savings without a solid financial plan for the future. Comparing yourself to an incomplete picture is one of the quickest ways to make poor financial decisions, whether it's overspending on things you don't need or racking up debt just to maintain an image. A prime example of the dangers of chasing external validation is the story of Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX. Before his downfall in 2022, Sam was hailed as a financial genius, worth billions of dollars, and living a lavish lifestyle. He was featured in major financial publications, sat at tables with the world's most influential figures, and was seen as the face of a new financial era. But in reality, much of his wealth was just numbers on paper, built on shaky ground, with no real financial foundation. When the bubble burst, FTX collapsed, and in an instant, Sam went from billionaire to broke. His story is a stark reminder that chasing prestige without a sustainable financial plan can lead to devastating consequences. Instead of comparing yourself to others, the key is to define what truly matters to you. One powerful way to break free from this cycle is through the ideal day exercise. Take a piece of paper and write down what your perfect day would look like. Where you wake up, what you do, who's around you, how you spend your time, and what brings you happiness. Once you have a clear picture of the life you genuinely want, use it as your guide for financial decisions. The next time you feel tempted to splurge on something extravagant, ask yourself, does this contribute to my ideal life? If not, remind yourself that it's just a fleeting impulse fueled by comparison. True happiness doesn't come from owning what others have. It comes from living in alignment with what truly matters to you. The third mistake that many people make, and the reason they stay stuck in a financial rut, is not putting their money to work fast enough. I've met plenty of people who proudly say they have $50,000, $60,000, or even $70,000 sitting in their bank accounts. But when I ask them what they plan to do with that money, they just shake their heads and say, "I don't want to take any risks. It took me a long time to save this, and I can't afford to lose it." On the surface, this seems like a responsible mindset, but in reality, it's one of the most ineffective financial decisions you can make. If you're simply holding onto cash without putting it to work, you're letting inflation silently erode your wealth every single day. Let's put this into perspective. If you have $70,000 sitting in a savings account with a 0.5% annual interest rate, a common rate at many banks, in 10 years, that money will grow to around $73,600. But if inflation averages 3% per year, the real value of your savings will shrink to the equivalent of just $52,000 in today's dollars. That means you've effectively lost nearly $20,000 in purchasing power simply by letting your money sit idle. On the other hand, if you had invested that $70,000 in an S&P 500 index fund, which has historically returned around 10% annually, your money could have grown to over $181,000 in the same 10-year period. This is the difference between someone who understands how to make money work for them and someone who lets their money sleep. A prime example of the power of capital circulation is Warren Buffett. He never lets cash sit idle for too long. Instead, he consistently reinvests his money to generate even more value. From a young age, Buffett put every dollar to work, whether through small businesses, stocks, or acquisitions, and as a result, he built one of the greatest financial empires in history. The lesson here is clear. Money only has real value when it's actively generating more money. So how do you put your money to work wisely? One of the best investments you can make is in yourself. This is the highest return investment you'll ever find. Imagine you're working an average office job, but instead of just saving your paycheck, you spend time learning a high-income skill like video editing, copywriting, or coding. Suddenly, you unlock new income opportunities that aren't tied to a fixed salary. I know someone who started learning digital marketing with a $100 online course. Within 6 months, he landed his first freelance gig, paying $3,000 per month. A year later, he had built his own agency and left his office job entirely. A small investment in knowledge completely transformed his financial future. Beyond investing in yourself, you can also explore long-term investment strategies like contributing to index funds, real estate, or business ventures. The key takeaway? Never let your money sit idle. Wealthy individuals don't keep excessive cash on hand. They make sure their money is always circulating, creating value and generating returns. If you want to change your financial future, stop letting your money sleep and start learning how to make it work for you. The fourth mistake that many people fail to recognize is not determining their hourly income. This is an extremely important concept because if you don't know the value of your time, you may be wasting it on tasks that provide little financial benefit. Imagine you earn $100,000 per year and work 2,000 hours. This means your hourly income is $50. This implies that any task that can be outsourced for less than that amount, such as house cleaning for $20 per hour, should be considered for delegation. Naval Ravikant, a successful entrepreneur and angel investor, once said, "If you want to become wealthy, calculate your desired hourly rate and act as if your time is worth that amount." If your goal is to earn $500,000 per year, then your hourly rate is approximately $250. Once you understand the true value of your time, you will no longer waste hours on tasks that can be outsourced for a lower cost. Take Elon Musk as an example. When he was young, Musk realized that to achieve great goals, he couldn't afford to waste time on unimportant tasks. He worked up to 100 hours per week to develop PayPal and SpaceX, focusing entirely on high-value activities. Instead of cooking or cleaning for himself, he used that time to research technology and grow his businesses. By optimizing his time this way, Musk was able to build billion-dollar companies. However, time optimization is not just for billionaire entrepreneurs. Think about your daily routine. Do you spend hours each week doing laundry, cleaning, or shopping? If you could use that time to learn a new skill, build a passive income stream, or advance your career, then outsourcing low-value tasks would be a smart investment. A study from Harvard University even found that people who are willing to spend money to save time tend to be happier and less stressed. The lesson here is simple. Don't just work hard, work smart. Calculate your hourly income and make sure you're spending your time on activities that generate the highest value. This is the fastest way to increase your earnings, reduce stress, and achieve financial freedom sooner. The fifth mistake that can keep you stuck in a financial rut is not living on 90% of your income. Most people tend to spend everything they earn, or worse, spend even more by taking on debt. But if you don't set aside a portion of your income for saving and investing, you will always have to work hard, without ever letting your money work for you. There is a classic financial strategy mentioned in the book The Richest Man in Babylon, called the 1 coin, 10 coins strategy. The principle is simple. You live on only 90% of your income, while the remaining 10% must be allocated to savings or investments. It sounds easy, but in reality, very few people follow this rule because they haven't established a smart financial system. Imagine two people earning the same salary of $5,000 per month. The first person spends all of it, living with the mindset of, "I earn, so I spend." The second person, as soon as they receive their salary, automatically transfers $500, 10%, into an investment account and lives within the remaining $4,500. After 10 years, the first person is still working tirelessly with no significant savings, while the second person has accumulated a growing investment portfolio, bringing them closer to financial freedom. So how can you apply this strategy without feeling constrained? Here are 3 ways to turn it into an easy habit. First, pay off high-interest debt. This may not seem directly related, but in reality, if you're paying 20% interest on credit card debt, any money you save is being eroded by these high costs. Prioritizing debt repayment is one of the most effective investments you can make to improve your financial situation. Second, automate your savings and investments. People tend to procrastinate on important tasks if they require too much effort. Instead of relying on willpower, set up an automatic system that transfers a portion of your income into a savings or investment account as soon as you receive your paycheck. Many successful individuals use this method because it allows them to save effortlessly. Third, plan for major expenses. Many people struggle to save not because they don't earn enough, but because they fail to prepare for unexpected costs. Car maintenance, family vacations, or other large expenses often disrupt financial plans. However, if you break these costs down into manageable monthly savings, you will have the money when needed without affecting your daily cash flow. Living on 90% of your income may not be easy at first, but once you build this habit, you will see a significant improvement in your financial situation. Saving isn't about depriving yourself of joy in the present, it's about securing a more stable financial future. The sixth mistake is focusing too much on cutting expenses instead of finding ways to make more money. This is one of the most common mistakes people make when trying to improve their personal finances. According to behavioral economics, people tend to fear losses more than they desire gains. This phenomenon is known as loss aversion. Because the fear of losing money is stronger than the joy of earning it, many people spend most of their time thinking about how to cut expenses rather than how to increase their income. However, the second approach can help you achieve financial freedom much faster. There is nothing wrong with saving, especially if you have big goals like buying a house, funding your children's education, or preparing for the future. But if you only focus on cutting small expenses, you may be missing out on bigger financial opportunities. Suppose you spend $5 a day on a cup of coffee and decide to cut this expense to save $100 per month. While this may help you save a little, it is insignificant compared to negotiating a $5,000 annual raise or building a passive income stream that generates $500 per month. If you only think about cutting back instead of earning more, you are limiting your financial potential. There is an interesting story that illustrates this approach. A friend of mine, David, used to work an office job with a salary of $50,000 per year. He constantly tried to cut expenses, bringing lunch to work, cancelling his Netflix subscription, and never eating out. But no matter how hard he tried, he still felt stuck in a financial rut. One day, David decided to change his strategy. Instead of just focusing on saving, he invested in upgrading his skills. He took a 3-month data analytics course and then landed a new job with an $80,000 salary, a $30,000 increase. Looking back, he realized that cutting expenses had only saved him a few $1,000s per year, while focusing on increasing his income had earned him tens of thousands of dollars in the long run. There is a limit to how much you can save, but there is no limit to how much you can earn. That's why you should spend more time figuring out how to increase your income instead of just worrying about cutting expenses. If you don't know where to start, I have a video that guides you on how to build a side hustle even while working a full-time job. Remember, saving is good, but increasing your income is the fastest way to achieve financial freedom. The seventh mistake is not tracking your expenses. And this is one of the most common reasons why many people struggle financially without understanding why. Imagine driving on a long journey without a fuel gauge. You have no idea how far you've traveled, how much gas is left, or whether you have enough to reach your destination. This is exactly how many people manage their money. They spend unconsciously without knowing how much they've spent, what they've spent it on, or whether they have enough left to achieve their financial goals. Failing to track expenses often leads to two consequences: overspending without realizing it, or feeling financial stress without knowing the cause. You may feel like you're always short on money, constantly waiting for your next paycheck, or wondering why your bank account seems to drain faster than expected. When you don't control your cash flow, it becomes difficult to save, invest, or pay off debt effectively. There's a classic example of this. A friend of mine, Lisa, had a salary of $75,000 per year, a decent income for a comfortable lifestyle. However, Every month she felt like she never had enough money, even though she wasn't spending on luxury items or frequent vacations. One day, Lisa decided to track her expenses using a finance app, and the results shocked her. She was spending over $600 per month on coffee and eating out, an amount she had never noticed before. Additionally, she discovered she was paying nearly $200 per month for subscription services she didn't even use. After cutting unnecessary expenses and creating a proper budget, she was able to save an extra $10,000 in a year without sacrificing much. The lesson here is simple. You can't improve what you don't measure. A crucial step is to track your monthly expenses to know exactly where your money is going. Based on this data, you can create a budget that aligns with your income, spending habits, and financial goals. Some people use Excel spreadsheets, while others rely on finance apps like Mint, YNAB, or Personal Capital to automatically track their transactions. The important thing is not which tool you use, but whether you are actively tracking your expenses. Once you have a clear picture of your financial situation, you can easily adjust your spending habits, allocate money to what truly matters, and steer your finances in the right direction. Personal finance is not a secret reserved for the wealthy or economic experts. It is simply a series of small decisions you make every day, and those decisions can make a huge difference in your future. The mistakes I've shared don't mean you must avoid all risks or never make errors, but the key is to recognize them early and adjust before it's too late. You don't need to be perfect right away. Start with small steps. Track your expenses, determine your hourly wage, focus on increasing your income instead of just cutting costs, and most importantly, make your money work for you. Every change begins with awareness. Once you recognize the issue, you'll be able to find a solution. Finally, remember that money is not just numbers in a bank account. It is a tool to help you build the life you desire. Set financial goals, invest in yourself, and make decisions based on what truly matters to you. Not because of social pressure or comparison with others. If you can do that, your finances will no longer be a source of stress, but a means to achieve true freedom. And that's all I wanted to share in this video. If you found it valuable, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment to motivate me to create more videos. Thank you and see you next time.